If you've ever had trouble getting your makeup just right around your eyes, that's what this video is about today. So let's dive right in. If you've ever had any troubles with eyeliner or eyeshadow moving around, slicking off your face, not staying on very long, or not looking smooth, you need an eyeshadow primer. Eyeshadow primers will help that makeup go on smoothly and keep it in place. And I like the Anti-Aging Eyeshadow Primer Potion by Urban Decay. Stick with me now, we've got a lot of good problem-solving tips coming. If you suffer from under-eye dryness, opt for a balm instead of a cream. Eye creams contain around 20% water. Balms, on the other hand, don't contain much water, if any, at all. Think of balms like a waterless moisturizer that delivers the oils directly to your skin. And what about the problem of having no eyebrows like me? According to Amanda McMillan of Time.com, a new study finds that facial features like lips and eyebrows tend to stand out less as people get older. But because of that, the author says, people perceive faces with more contrast as younger. Now, in the study published in the journal Frontiers in Psychology, researchers analyzed photographs of 763 makeup-free women with various skin tones between the ages of 20 and 80. A computer program analyzed the photos for facial contrast, a measure of how much the eyes, lips, and eyebrows stand out due to differences in color, lightness, and darkness with the surrounding skin. Young women had more facial contrast, and older women had less. Contrast especially decreased in the areas of the mouth and eyebrows as women got older. Next, the researchers photoshopped some of the pictures, creating two nearly identical versions of each face with varying levels of contrast. They showed these photographs to volunteers and asked them to choose the younger-looking face. Almost 80% of the time, people said the high-contrast face appeared younger than the low-contrast one. So having good eyebrows and keeping them in good shape is really important. One very common problem with eyebrows is trying to get the right color. A good rule of thumb is to always go lighter than your hair color. So if you have dark black hair, then you want to use a brunette color. If you have medium brown hair, you want to go for a light brown or a soft brown. If you're blonde, you can go for what they usually call blonde, which is usually a little bit more orangey, or if you're on the cool side of blonde, you can use a taupe. If you have red hair, you want to go for a lighter color that has those warm tones. And if you're gray, the most universal color for gray and silver hair is going to be a taupe. But if you feel that you have to have gray brows, then there are two companies I know that actually sell a gray brow pencil. One is Benefit and the other one is I Embrace. Now let's move on to the problem of skipping eyeshadow. And that's where you apply too much pressure to your eye and you drag it across, and it drags across those wrinkles and leaves little empty spots. 3 ways to avoid this are: number 1, make sure you wear your eyeshadow primer. Number 2, apply a skin tone color all over your eyelid from your brow to your lash line and blend it out. This provides a nice smoothing base for the makeup that you're going to apply over. Number 3, you want to apply your color, and then when you're ready to blend it, you're going to use a light pressure, and you're going to use little tiny strokes to blend. Use the windshield wiper strokes, but not the long ones that go from one side to the other, like you see the 20-year-old Instagram models doing. Okay, you want to use little tiny short strokes and very light pressure, and that will keep your makeup from skipping. Now let's talk about hooded eyes. If your eyes are hooded like mine, you're going to have to bring your color up high enough to where when you relax your face and look straight forward, you can actually see the color. The best way to do this, if you're not sure, is just look straight ahead in the mirror with your face relaxed and make sure you can see that color. If when you relax your face, it all disappears, you need to bring it up a little bit higher. And remember, you don't want to do your eyeshadow exactly like me or your friends. You want to do your eyeshadow for your eye shape, which is very unique to you. And that takes a little practice to figure out exactly how you want your eyes to look and where you want those colors to be. I've brought that dark color all the way into my inner eye, and that may not work for you. I like to do that because I have that little pocket of fat there, and it kind of makes that recede a little bit, which makes me feel better, and I like it that way. But it may not work for you. To better play with the makeup on your face to figure out what you like best, remember that the dark colors will make things look smaller and receded, and the light colors will bring them forward and make them pop more. Now, the problem of lashes not staying up. According to Good Morning America, you want to hold your lashes for 10 seconds and not pump them. And you also want a lash curler that will bend and lift the lashes. They recommended the Surratt Beauty Releve Lash Curler or the CoverGirl Makeup Masters Eyelash Curler. Now then, we're moving on to under eye or concealer issues. Now, if you're getting any kind of value out of this, hit the thumbs up and subscribe, please. First off, I want to talk about e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer for Aging Eyes. Don't worry about the names of everything. I'll have it all typed up in the description for you and the top pinned comment. This face primer is perfect for normal to dry to combination skin, and especially is magnificent under the eyes. If you find that your concealer is too cakey or creasy under your eyes, I want you to take the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer and mix about 1/3 as much of your concealer with it. Then apply a small amount. Whatever you're thinking is small, think half. Then blend it out with your finger or with a sponge. As I'm sure you already know, primer is actually used to grip your makeup. So when you mix your color with that primer, it's going to help grip the makeup and grip it to your skin. Now, I'm not saying you can't mess this up, because if you put too much on there or you overwork it, you can definitely mess it up. So if you're new to makeup, I recommend using your ring finger and just gently patting it into place. As a person with dry eyes, I love to use that putty primer under my eyes because it's got squalane in there, which helps retain the moisture. And even better, they carry it at like all the drugstores. Now, for those of you who can't wear concealer at all, you've just given up on it, it's just not worth it, you've tried everything. Use this straight under your eyes with nothing else. It's got just a tiny bit of color in it and it's brightening. So not only does it bring a little moisture, it's not going to creep into fine lines unless you overdo it and apply a bunch. And it's also going to give you a little bit of brightening. And I like to take whatever's left on my finger and just go over that eyeshadow to make sure it's not too harsh. Soft is better. And last of all today, for my ladies who have those dark inner eye circles, you're going to want to start with a color corrector. Color correctors are different than concealer. They neutralize the color. And you want to choose a color corrector or palette based on your skin tone. To color correct dark circles for my skin tone, I really need a light peach color. The one I'm using is a little bit dark, but I'm going to make it work. It's important to use the tiniest amount needed and only in the areas that you have the discoloration. Depending on what you're using, it may even be possible to just shear it out and not apply concealer over. However, if you have to apply concealer over, make sure you've got it thinned out a little bit with a little setting spray on your brush, and then just tap it over where you put the color corrector. Allow it to dry a little bit and then pat, pat, pat until you get it blended. These kind of things can be a little delicate, so go slow and take your time. I like several different color correctors. I love the ones by Saint, the ones by LA Colors, and the ones by Dermaflage. It's been a real pleasure, my friends. Thanks so much for watching, and God willing, I'll see you tomorrow.